Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. Tonight we have A Bad Night, another Wicker Saga story.
Oh, I was going to say, it's 1 o'clock. I don't think this is going to be that. It's not night.
Yeah. Also, way to pull the curtain away from behind the scenes.
I'm sorry. Is that a problem? Is that rude?
Oh, I'm sorry.
At home?
It's nighttime somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we are back into the Wicker Saga with another Wicker Saga story.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're back, which is my unintentional connective tissues time because I recently watched John Wick.
I'm guessing I'm back with the John Wicker Saga.
That's too good.
Damn it. Yeah. So, A Bad Night is part of the Wicker Saga series of stories written by Shadow Swimmer 77. You can check it out at creepypasta.wiki. I believe it's also on creepypasta.com. This story, as a note, was an entry for the finals of the 2015 Creepypasta Freestyle competition. And the subject for the story was Detective Fired from His Job. So, before I get too far ahead of myself, though, let's do our initial recommendations. I am going to recommend this one.
I'm going to personally recommend this one.
And I'm going to recommend this one.
All right. Well, let's dive into this and find out exactly why we gave those initial recommendations and see if that changes. Starting with the rundown, not featuring The Rock.
No, he has a name this time.
Yeah. Well, technically the narrator is an omnipresent narrator, but that's following third person Jack Monahan.
If you want his voice to be The Rock's voice, then go for it.
Jack Monahan, you smell what The Rock is cooking? Anyway. Mm-hmm. So Jack Monahan is a detective who has just been let go by the parents of the missing child, June Benson, that he was tasked with finding. This case had gone on for several weeks and had led Jack down a rabbit hole of multiple missing kids and a possible connection to the local big pharma factory and its owner, Graydon Marks. He was on the cusp of infiltrating the factory's property outside of town that night when he got the call from the parents. Thinking it was strange and having a good conscience, Jack decided to go out there anyway and see if his lead was correct and if the kid was actually there. Either way, it was going to be a bad night. Credits. No. Continuing on. He gets out there and sneaks out to the house Marks lives in on the property, where he sees the millionaire corporate owner leading the Bensons, the family, the parents of June, out to a thicket of woods. Trailing them in the snow, he sees that there is an active bonfire in a clearing, and as Marks climbs up to a hunting platform on a tree, the parents and Jack see a disheveled June in quite the state, shambling into the clearing. When the parents go to embrace their child, she begins biting and attacking them, and then soon more wild zombie-ish children come out of the woods and devour the couple. Jack freaks out and flees, but trips and knocks himself out. Waking up, tied up to a tree, with Marks in front of him, gloating and holding Jack's gun. Marks knew Jack was on this case the whole time, and tried to give him one last opportunity to walk away with the phone call from the parents earlier. But curiosity and chivalry killed the PI, as Marks shoots Jack in the foot and leaves him to be eaten as well by the monstrous children. Jack Monahan certainly did have a bad night. Finn. So yeah, that was a bad night.
It was.
For a couple
In
of
many
people,
ways, the
actually,
4 was the
really.
1.
Yeah. But I suppose we move on to everyone tolerates the Grand Inquisitions. At this point, I've got one, and it's sort of part of a paragraph because there's something missing in the paragraph. I feel that is crucial to the rest of the story.
I was going to say, pretty much all sentences are part of paragraphs.
Thanks.
So that part shouldn't be weird.
No, God damn it. The door's ajar. Actually, it's a door. Fuck you.
I still don't remember the last time I've said that, but you keep giving me shit for that.
It's not
It's
just
like
you.
It's like if you forget your jacket one time, your parents will be like, 15 years later, be like, don't forget your jacket. It's like, what?
I don't think it's
15 years ago you forgot your jacket. Why are you still reminding me of that?
I don't think it's just you. I think it was also Aaron or Captain Solanum on One Less Die. That would also like fuck that up. So
yeah.
Or no, that would also like do that to me. So like I think you did it once, and then like maybe Captain Solanum also did it a couple of times, and so I've just thrown I've lopped you into the same pile.
I'm guilty by association because I'm also a punman.
Yes.
My next D&D character's last name should be Punman.
And he should be a bard. And just because they even have like that vicious mockery, just like do puns.
Yeah.
Dad jokes as vicious mockery.
Yeah.
Regardless, back to Grand Inquisition.
Oh yeah, right.
Mark stooped down in front of him. Must be going, old chap. I'd tell you to simply walk away from this, but you've squandered that opportunity already, and, well, it'd be quite impossible now for a multitude of reasons. He inclined his head toward Jack's destroyed foot. However, as I've confessed my admiration, I've decided to give you a sporting chance. There's a very realistic possibility you'll bleed out before the children get hungry again. Good luck. With that, he walked out of the clearing into the darkened woods. Jack lay there in the snow, the white around him slowly turning red. How is he supposed to leave that tree? He was bound to that tree in the last, like previously to this situation. There's no mention that Marks cuts him down.
He's not supposed to cut him down.
But he said he'd give him a chance to get down.
No.
Okay.
His chance is basically to die peacefully of blood loss compared to being eaten alive.
Okay. I thought he was giving him a chance to try and escape.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. I'm gonna keep this in, but all right. Like that. All right.
It's
My
okay.
bad.
It's fine.
Then I have no grammar acquisition. So moving on to Mikey. The E stands for evil.
All right. I have a conjunction junction which has at least a couple run-on sentences in it, because this story has a lot of run-on sentences for flavor.
Yeah. All right. And next stop, conjunction junction. Doot, doot.
But he said he'd seen something, namely 2 goons in suits shoving a black bag over a young boy's head and throwing him into an unmarked van outside a crack house the junkie had been flopping at. It made a sick kind of sense that Marks might have decided to take kids as unwilling, unpaid subjects for new drugs they were testing, and he was one of the only individuals with both enough political and monetary pull to keep the mayor's office and police department on lockdown. But then, when he'd been at the office getting ready to head over to the plant, Chase had called him out of the blue and said, "Thanks, but they wouldn't be needing him to keep looking into June's disappearance after all." It had been steadily snowing for the last few hours, so he briefly went back to the road and did his best to cover the tracks leading into the clearing. But here we are. Finn.
Wow.
He didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
He just got fired from his job. He's like, okay, I'll cover up any tracks I did, and then that's
Guess
I'll go home, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'll just because remember earlier in the story, I did cut a hole in that fence. I guess I'll fix that, and then I'll just leave.
Buys a new section of fence, puts it in his car, drives it over, swaps it out.
Welds it onto the chain, or no, just takes a welder and just welding the chain link back together.
I'd say you probably disassemble that section of chain link fence and reassemble with the new piece.
Yeah,
because otherwise, I think you'd notice that it was crudely welded back on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then he didn't. Well, he had a bad night, but it was more just I got fired. So basically, he took that opportunity. He actually took the opportunity that Marx gave him earlier, and actually walked away.
Yes.
He
did what he should have done, technically, if he wanted to survive.
Yeah.
But for those unaware, Mikey does these sentences or these little stories to highlight all the sentences in a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, because there's always better words to use.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Gamer, do we have a grammar in yellow?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay.
Let me just clarify where this is. Okay. First sentence. You're making a mistake. I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Monahan. Our decision has been made. Then it cuts down, but it continues on. So,
yeah, okay. Yeah,
personally, I'd like the dialogue to tab down every time it switches people.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's almost like he's saying you're making a mistake, and then he's listening for half a second. He's like, "I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Monahan," talking to a man called Mr. Monahan on the phone.
Yeah, I fully support that too. Especially since we get the tab down for for the next two dialogue bits that are separate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I should move on. This is in regards to him sitting there and drinking in his office. He removed the top from the bottle and took a long swallow. It doesn't feel right for me to use the word swallow in this case. Like something as simple as drink. He took a long drink.
You know, while I was reading it, I actually hiccuped and said, and took a swig. While I was reading it aloud, I completely dropped swallow and took a swig.
Yeah, or depending on how much he's drinking, say, or he chugged the bottle.
Yeah.
Because right after that, he's saying I don't give a shit if I'm drunk or whatever,
Yeah, so swallow is appropriate, but it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as some other words could.
No, it just seemed weird as a descriptor for drinking. But either way. So I start reading for a little while, and I get halfway into the story. Dark clouds covered the pale winter moon as Jack moved the car. So, as I just said, this gets dropped halfway through the story when we find out the season. I would have liked this mentioned early on, so the visuals of him going out to question people that happened before this had the right setting to them.
Yeah, fair.
Because for me, it's just it's summer, he's out there talking to people, then all of a sudden it's winter.
Yeah. You could have said I think there's where it's time to hit the Jack hit the cold winter streets. That's all you need to add to it. Yeah.
Super easy.
Also, it does not help that the child's name is June.
Yeah, that probably tainted the season a little bit for me.
Yeah.
And then is he sleeping at this point? Hang on. No, this is when he is he's stalking through the dude's place. In the snow and stuff. Yes. Okay. So A strange moaning caused him to start, his hand flying under his coat to rest on Cheryl. So I think what it should be saying is like, it's causing him a start, or giving him a start, or causing him to perk up. The wording of caused him to start seemed weird to me.
I have heard that said. Like I have heard it said like that though. Like you wake up with a start.
Yes.
Like that. So yeah.
But caused him to start?
Yeah.
Because this is also being told presently.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a little bit of a tense talk, causing him to start, because it's now, right?
I suppose, yeah.
Compared to caused. And a start sounds better than just start to me. I don't know.
Causing him to wake up with a start?
Well, he wasn't. He was standing. He was out there stalking.
Maybe he was asleep.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm just being stupid.
That's my job. How dare you? You took my germ. And then my last one here is when the father is running away in the woods.
No, not the father. Creature. It was Jack that was running away.
No, it wasn't.
What?
No, it wasn't, sir.
Hang on a second. What is this?
Can I just read?
Yeah. Please read it. Yeah.
Okay, so, Jack is hiding in the woods. This isn't the. He's hiding in the woods, looking at the bonfire.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Bad Guy Man and the mother and the father are there. They got brought there from his house to see their daughter. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I'll show you your daughter. Here she is. She's attracted by the light, the monster. And she comes over and then kills the wife. And then the father runs away. And then the father, abruptly, a root caught his foot and sent him tumbling head over heels. His head met a tree with a sickening thud, then blackness.
No, Jack.
What happened to the father? He was there. Did he just vanish?
No, I'm going to show you right now. Molly screamed, and Chase lunged for his wife as a fountain of blood erupted, washing June's face in gore. The girl rode her mother to the ground, worrying at the wound like a wild animal. Jack felt the world lurch. And the next paragraph, Chase was struggling to pry June off Molly when Jack saw other small shapes had entered the clearing. Chase didn't notice until the things that had once been children were practically on top of him. And by then, it was far too late. Jack turned and ran. He sprinted through the forest, mindless now of the noise he was making. His only thought, escape, blah, 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 branches tangled his arms.
How did I misread that?
Abruptly,
you
a
can
root
stop
caught
reading.
You're
okay, done.
I got my
you
point
don't
across.
Have to just read the rest of the fucking story.
Sorry, I didn't mean. No, I wasn't actually trying to make you like. I wasn't trying to be obnoxious there. I was just like, yeah.
He just wanted to get to the blackness point where he knocked into the tree.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with my whole note here was it sounded like it was talking about like it wasn't clear who it was because I read
because you missed the last
wrong,
the last short sentence which says Jack turned and ran.
Yeah. It's really that Jack turned and ran should be the beginning of that paragraph.
Yeah,
because the paragraph starts with he sprinted through the forest. So it is a grammar inquisition.
Yeah, also this is kind of
it's really almost just my problem.
I don't know, like I feel like he could have been like we could have gotten like who exactly he was, like, but then it might turn into like Jack turned and ran. Jack sprinted through the forest. See Jack run, Jack run. But like,
it doesn't matter because the last subject is Jack, because it says Jack turned and ran. Literally, I did not read that Jack turned and ran. That just wasn't here yesterday when I read it. This has been edited since then.
I don't think so.
It absolutely
it's fine. I had a hiccup earlier. I had a goof up earlier. You had a goof up now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm keeping both of our goof ups now.
Of course, absolutely. Because the way I ran it, he would just read it.
Yeah,
he was
Chase
just sitting there.
Yeah,
he was watching him running away, and then Chase Like,
It's
ironically, Chase was being chased. That's another reason that I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Chase is being chased.
Yeah.
And then he tripped and got hit in the head on the tree.
Yeah.
But as soon as that happened, blackness, as in all of a sudden Jack couldn't see anything anymore because someone snuck up behind him and knocked him out immediately.
So that's what you.
That's-
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That's like. Yeah. Okay.
Because also, like, these children are just like murderous. So why did they just decide to not kill him?
They didn't murder Jack because he ran away and they were too preoccupied killing and eating 2 other fully grown adults. And then they got full for a while. So that's why they suddenly became placid, and that's why like Marks took his opportunity to like find Jack's prone body, tie him up, and then it's like, all right, well, we'll just.
So basically, if Jack just snuck away, he would have been fine.
Yeah, if he didn't
lost that sand check.
Exactly. Yeah, he chose fight or flight, and just ran off without any like or he got for our Boston game, he rolled a fear check, failed his fear check, got terrified, chose flight, and just like had no tactical like thinking whatsoever, and just ran like, and the GM gave him the repercussions of being in a flight state.
Yep.
Yep.
Oddly topical.
Yeah.
Considering last time.
Yeah, considering the last game
I had a bad night.
Let's die.
Yeah, when I had a bad night.
Yeah. Getting attacked by animated scarecrows in Ravenloft.
Yeah. I got one-shotted.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the end of my grammar.
Okay. Then I suppose we'll move on to actual thoughts. So I'm going to start with this one here. Jack hit the streets, or the wintry streets, or the cold wintry streets. He went to June's school and surrounding apartments. Then, finding nothing, he rolled up his sleeves and waded into the scum on the other side of the city. I almost want to say other side of town. On the other side of the city. He canvassed the halfway houses, the tent city under Eastbrook Bridge, the Wakeside slums where cops would only go in force. Wakeside sounds familiar to me. Was there a Wake place in the previous Wicker Saga stories somewhere? Like maybe the first one? And then I didn't update because like I actually went back after I read the story and like checked to see about the first Wicker Saga story, the Wicker House story. So doing this quick check, Arthur's Wake was the name of the town in the Wicker House. So
right, yeah.
So perhaps this,
because I remember us having a confusion because it sounded like it was a wake to a funeral.
Yeah, or I thought like Arthur was a character, not a place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder now. Like we never get like a name of the city that Jack is living in and like working in and stuff, and that's fine. Like it can be vague for this, but I do wonder if the city that he's working in and living in is geographically similar, like in a similar location to Arthur's Wake, and that's why they call that side of the city Wakeside. Or like maybe that's like part of like where like the city has incorporated since like that story, because that's Arthur's Wake was like from like the 1940s, 1980s, I think, like time period of the Wicker Saga. Maybe since then the neighboring city has just like incorporated Arthur's Wake and turned it into Wakeside. So just something like, again, when I see locations and stuff, for some reason I get really interested in the locations of even fictional of stories. So it makes me wonder, like it helps me I guess it maybe like helps me ground myself in a narrative if I know like where things are and stuff.
Did you look up where this entire story took place?
I did not.
How dare you? You just said that as soon as you see any nugget of information, you immediately look it up. I looked it up, for God's sakes.
Okay, what did you find, sir?
Where is that note? Where is that sneaky little note? Where did you go?
Because I just assumed it was fictional and left it at that. Like, cause like, oh, it's like Wakeside. Like, that's about all I did. So yeah, where is this, sir?
I didn't even write it down because I'm like, oh, he's absolutely gonna do this. Fuck, what's the quote? Okay, it's Pennsylvania. First off,
well, of course, yeah, okay.
Is damn it! I think I have 5 minutes. Yeah. to like read over this whole
Let
damn
this
story.
be a message to both of you guys. Keep your notes, even if you think I'm going to cover it. Do add that to your notes just in case.
Yeah.
I do anyway.
Okay.
How dare you?
And
You're better than both of us. We know this.
Yeah.
Basically, I have my notes, and then if Cultist covers it, I cross off. So I don't need to talk about that now. So we're good.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. I do hope you do make an effort to still pipe in on those categories if you have more to say. Okay.
If I have more to
it.
say, yeah, I try to. Yes.
Okay.
It's in the quote that you fucking read.
Is it serious? Is it really?
Yeah, I got it from Eastbrook
See, okay,
Bridge.
I did actually look up Eastbrook because I thought it might have been in The Soldier, which was in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. But I didn't my cursory skim of The Soldier didn't give up anything, so I just assumed it was fictional. So yeah, so where is that in Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
Oh, God damn it!
I just wanted a rough area. So is it in America? Cool. Moving on.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's all I need personally.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I assume. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's Joe Pesci.
But yeah, I've suddenly turned into Joe Pesci. Review Cultist Joe Pesci.
Mm-hmm.
I need a Snickers. So I'll move on to the next thing. He'd planned on taking a look. He'd planned on taking a closer look tonight, but then when he'd been at the office getting ready to head over to the plant, Chase had called him out of the blue and said, "Thanks, but they wouldn't be needing him to keep looking into June's disappearance after all." End of discussion. Were I a detective? That sounds like they've been bought off or blackmailed into turning a blind eye to the situation.
Yeah, it's we don't need you to find our daughter anymore. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
She can stay missing. She was just kind of annoying anyways. We can always make another one.
Jesus. And then we get the next thing here. He hadn't known the Bensons for long, but this was completely out of character. Something was up, and damn it, there were kids at risk. He might not be getting paid to follow up the lead, but Jack's conscience wasn't going to let him just sit and get wasted. He took his overcoat. He took his overcoat from the back of his chair and threw it on before reaching into the other drawer where he kept Cheryl. The Colt 357 was a thing of beauty. And he did a quick check to make sure each of her 6 cartridges were loaded before sliding her into his shoulder holster and slipping a box of spare shells into his jacket pocket. With that, he stepped out into the hallway and resolutely locked the door behind him. So yeah, case in point, even the detective in the story is picking up on that there's something fishy going on about that that sudden discharge of from the job. I also have a few other things. One, go Jack Monahan. He's already my favorite. He's already my favorite protagonist so far, because he's basically a John. He's already a really good protagonist in terms of making me want to root for him.
Okay, you said favorite of all time.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean I meant to go on, but I meant more he's already a likable protagonist.
Yes.
Because of his resolution to find these kids. We gotta do it for the kids.
Are you Cartman all of a sudden?
No, yeah. But 2, this is hard boiled as fuck. The whole detective stuff, which I was here for. But Gamer in Yellow, as our resident gun fondler,
what?
Do you call the place where they put bullets into a Colt 357 a cartridge? The individual rounds being slotted in? Are those called cartridges?
They're the bullets?
Not the bullets, the spot in the revolver
he's saying check to see if there's 6 bullets in it.
Yeah, okay. It just seemed really weird that he said her making sure her 6 cartridges, because when I think of when I thought
Six
cartridge,
bullets.
I was thinking like I guess like
You're thinking of the holes in the cylinder.
yeah.
No, he's talking about making sure that it is fully loaded with 6 bullets. He's just using
so
cartridges
cartridge.
instead of bullets.
Okay, I was gonna say so. Cartridge is like an accurate is a proper term, or is like the right term to use for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Further follow-ups question: a box of spare shells? should it not be spare rounds?
Yeah, shells are like shotgun shells.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I was like, what is the? It's a Colt 357, not a fucking judge.
I mean,
They
it
can
might be.
fire shotgun shells.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason it didn't smell right to me. Like when I was reading the story of like him having like for the cartridge thing kind of like tripped me up a little bit. But then I was like, all right, I'll get that pass. And then he's like, and then I got a box of spare shells. It's like I wasn't aware that you had a shotgun as well.
Maybe he has a shotgun in the car.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Or
though.
maybe, or maybe this is in the Demolition Man universe. He's got those 3 seashells just in case.
Oh God. What are they for, though? How do you?
In case
how
he
do they
needs to
work?
poop in the woods.
Yeah, but how do they work? This is where Mikey should be like, he doesn't know how to use the shells.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
But
yeah,
it did sound a little weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was a little like, I don't think
Using
that's the right
cartridges and
terminology.
shells are like the least used option, I would say.
Yeah,
Like you'd say bullets
and
or like
rounds.
rounds.
Yeah,
shots, like anything other than those. Oddly enough.
yeah.
Like,
And I'm
me being a man who does not own a gun,
but you
but
being
knows
also
a little
somebody.
bit about it.
Yeah, like we're both Canadian, like we're all Canadian in this show, and like, but even we know like it's like a little bit about guns.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was like it just tripped me up. I was like, it was going so well with the detective noir angle, and then just like that kind of like tripped me up a little bit, and then I like smashed into a tree and got blacked out for for a little while.
Yep.
But I'll move on.
Also, it's ironic that he said he doesn't want to just sit there and get wasted. Meanwhile, him going out and doing something ended up with him sitting there getting killed, aka wasted.
Wasted, a la GTA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasted. Then he wakes up in the like coming out of the hospital.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll move on to the next thing I have. At first, Jack assumed they would be going to the pharmaceutical plant to the west of the house, but soon found he was mistaken. Instead, Marks walked directly south, straight into the woods that were even thicker than those through which Jack had approached the compound. Very interesting twist indeed. Because as I was reading this, like it's like, all right, they're not going to the pharmaceutical plant. Well, clearly they're going to walk. He's going to walk them around the back of the house to a storm cellar where he's been keeping the kids in the cellar or something like that. And then it's like, oh no, we're actually going into the woods. And like, there's a bonfire in the clearing of the woods. Like, okay, so this is some kind of a ritual sacrifice that's going on. We're going to find the bodies like burned up or something like that. And then it continued on, and that wasn't the case. I was like, okay, so it kept me guessing as I was like, where exactly Marks has taken everybody.
Yeah.
And I like that's a good thing, like, because I was like, it was keeping me on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next thing here,
I got a bit confused, like because he goes to the plant,
yeah,
and then he goes through the fence, and then he goes towards the house.
yeah, because the house is on. It established that the house was on the same property as is like basically one big compound kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it just it changed where it was going so much, and I was like, it messed with my visualization.
Yeah,
what was happening is like, is he going to the plant or is he going to the house? Where did this house come from?
I guess
is it beside the plant? Like,
yeah, I and it does say that like kind of, but like I guess it could have established that a little bit more clearly ahead of time, like that there was a house on the property of the compound or of the factory where their CEO lives when he's in town. Which also kind of
says that he lives there when he's in town. It absolutely says that.
It does absolutely say that, but I think what like for Mikey's sake, I think maybe it could have been a little bit earlier to establish that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could take or leave it with that angle. So, but I'll move on to the next thing here. After a time, he could see a strange flickering. Ahead, which, once they got close enough, he could identify as a roaring bonfire set in a small clearing. He stopped about 50 feet short of the fire and hid himself behind a tree. He could see the Bensons were agitated, Molly clinging to her husband, Chase obviously enraged, shouting at Marks. "What's the meaning of this, Marks? You said you were taking us to see our daughter." And so I have, Chase. So I have. She'll be here shortly. The fire, you see, we found it draws them. So, I don't know about you guys, but this caught me in like a kind of an awesome, like, oh fuck, like revelation sort of thing. Like, just like, draws who? The kids? What have they done to them? And then I continued reading and we got this.
Yeah, media, it's like, okay, they're fucked up.
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, it was like the pale shape of a little girl moved into the clearing. Jack recognized June from the pictures her parents had given him, but only just. Her once sparkling eyes were dull and empty, lacking even the most rudimentary intelligence. Her face slack, a dried reddish smear crusted around her mouth. The girl was dressed in rags, her hands and feet bare. She shuffled forward, almost stumbling into the fire, paying no mind to her parents or the heat. Something was very wrong. So this pharmaceutical company is called Umbrella, right?
Of course.
Like, we're getting some. I was getting some Resident Evil vibes a little bit from the situation. And then my last thing here. His last thought before his entire world was consumed by blackness and pain was that he guessed he'd been right at the office after all. Either way, this was going to be a bad night. Credits.
Credits this time.
And yeah, for me, just like any good horror or noir story, the protagonist meets a tragic end. I really enjoyed the story, though I feel this could be tacked on to the beginning of a follow-up story. Like, it kind of has that vibe. Just given like
thing?
Yeah, like the story's like kind of pretty short, like as it is. Like it's only about like it only clocks in about 5 pages. And like I feel like this could be like honestly, this could be like the introductory to like, and then like have like something a little bit more. I don't know, like I feel like there could be another story like that. This is tacked on to at the beginning, just kind of like by the end, it kind of gave me that vibe. It's like I don't know.
I feel like this is a wish-washy way of saying that you must have more.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Disney princess. I must have more. Yeah. And since it's winter, I guess I'm Elsa.
Yeah.
Or no, I'd still be Belle because Belle is always about like having more.
Okay.
He wants more in this life. Elsa's more about letting it go. And being her own independent woman. And being her own independent woman.
I think almost gave off like Conan was best in life vibes when you said that.
Belle, what is best in life? To not marry Gaston, to leave this dull little village, and to hear the lamentation, and to always have more, and to hear the lamentations of more. But yeah, no, like it's just like I don't get me wrong, I still like the story as it is. It just I feel like there could, if like I wanted more, or I kind of want more in like a longer story that kind of dives into like the pharmaceutical company and what they're doing to kids and stuff. I don't need it, but I want it.
Okay. Because you want to know, like, what's the purpose of them doing this?
Yeah, exactly. And
what
like,
are they getting out of this?
Yeah, and again, like that's not really the point of the story because like it's a horror story. Like you're not supposed to get all the answers because that's what makes like we don't have all the answers. That makes like that sometimes makes things scary.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's just like
Jack isn't exactly in the situation to find out more.
Yeah, exactly. He's not surviving this. He's exiting stage left through the gullet of several cannibalistic children.
Yep.
But yeah, so it was like I like it. It's just like it's like candy. I don't need it, but I want it.
Fair.
But yeah, that's the end of my actual thoughts. So Mikey, D stands for evil.
All right. My first actual thought here. He removed the top from the bottle and took a long swallow. A slow burning sensation traveling from his belly up to the base of his throat drove the empty feeling back ever so slightly. Shouldn't it be going down his throat into his belly?
Yeah, I kind of had a similar thought when I was reading. Like, I was gonna let it go because, like, obviously, it like the heat travels down from your throat to your stomach, and then it expands out to the rest of your body to give you that buzz or feeling. But like the way it was described, it kind of was like, is he having acid reflux?
I was gonna say, yeah.
The burning sensation is going back up his esophagus.
Yeah, and I mean he's having hard liquor, and that burns going down.
Yeah, yeah, well, unless it's like really smooth, but then
then it burns going up apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely kind of I agree with you, Mikey. Like I did hear that. Sorry, my antivirus just like kicked in for some reason. Uh-oh.
Probably just asking for an update or something.
Probably, yeah.
Because you're literally doing nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just like that's a weird way to say that, but all right, I'll accept it. I'll move on. That's why we have Mikey.
All right. So, my next actual thought here. Dark clouds covered the pale winter moon as Jack moved the car to the side of the road and pulled into a small clearing he had discovered earlier in the week. It had been steadily snowing for the last few hours, so he briefly went back to the road and did his best to cover the tracks leading into the clearing. And then we get the description of the girl. The girl was dressed in rags, her hands and bare feet. Or her hands and feet bare.
Okay.
So we're in winter. It's cold. It's snowing. The kids don't have any warmth or anything. They're essentially zombies, and zombies don't survive winter.
Until they do.
Like this just kind of furthers the situation that there's something very unnatural about this, what's happened to the kids. Also, counterpoint.
You're talking about zombies like they're an actual thing that you're an authority on. Too.
And also counterpoint to zombie stuff. Zombies. Conventional zombies, like in stories and stuff like that, when they include like cold climates, yeah, sure. But not all zombies, like White Walkers.
It's also not confirmed that she's even technically dead.
Yeah, she's just in a weird state, and like, yeah. So
well, yeah. I would have liked it, if either A, it wasn't winter, or B, the child had a weird deformity. So like they still recognized it as June, but there was something wrong, like physically visible. Like,
so the dead and slackened face isn't with blood off of the mouth is not enough for you.
No,
it means like a growth or something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, or like scales or something. Like they mix their DNA with lizards so that they can survive the cold or something.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Slicing a human with lizards. You're surviving in winter. To survive in winter. That's what you're. That's what you want, because that's what. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Clearly, you're stumbling over yourself. You're right.
That's not how lizards work. Lizards go into hibernation when it gets too cold.
Well, that's why they have the fire there, because it attracts them.
I will give you this.
Advantage of lizarding them up, if it's not to resist cold.
I will give you this. maybe if like as she's walking, like her footsteps are causing steam, like to show that like she's generating a bit more like heat than normal, or than should be normal. Like as she's
Or like
walking.
the reason that she's stumbling is because like her feet are like so frostbitten and like wrecked that they don't really work anymore.
Yeah, and that adds to the whole like she's like kind of some kind of zombie-ish thing, because like, and there's something very wrong because she's not caring at all about that, and she's
Yeah, she has no pain receptors or anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is, I want more description of the kids.
All right, I'll just shimmy over to the other side of the princess love the princess love sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we have a new princess here's your tiara, Mikey.
Or like the simple thing would be like to have a description of another kid, but he's more deformed or something.
To show that it has
like,
stages.
Yeah.
I guess maybe like even if like maybe there was like black veins, like just like riddling her flesh kind of thing. Even.
Just something.
Yeah, I suppose that I don't know. I'm fine with what it is, but I can see your point of like wanting a little bit more to like show that there is something very wrong, and not just be as subtle as it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So my next actual thought is, I guess, a connective tissue time.
Uh-oh.
So this story has a detective, and I'm currently playing Call of Cthulhu, which also has a detective.
That just clicked. It was like, oh right, yeah, you've been playing that on because you posted that Twitter feed, or that Twitter post earlier this week. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's going to happen with a like one more than a couple of like more than not. There's probably going to our creepypastas are probably going to have some kind of investigator type.
That's true.
So, but it is still like funny that you're playing a game about a detective looking for a missing woman and stuff like that, and then you end up reading a creepypasta about an investigator looking up a missing girl under very strange circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's all just the cult of Cthulhu all along.
I mean, this is a part of the Wicker saga. So like, there's the big pharma corporation is probably doing something with like some kind of like supernatural material or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're creating like weird zombie-ish children, for God's sakes. Like what we have to remember is like, so like these are like the Wicker saga stories. They're all like a standalone. They're supposed to be standalone stories that all have like, they're all kind of like, as a whole, they tell a greater narrative, and like so that they're still in line with like things like The Soldier and like The Wicker House and like stuff like that. So maybe this is like the this company's like using the children for experiments on like some kind of weird paranatural material that they found from like somewhere like similar to where that monster in the desert was, or like they're creating like half human, half demon hybrids.
This is how it becomes Doom.
Yeah. Do you want Doom Eternal? do you want Doom 2016? Because this is how you get Doom 2016. Mm-hmm. When the UAC starts funding research into collecting energy, like a renewable energy source from the fucking hell dimension.
What could possibly go wrong? Oh yeah,
honestly, also that kind of sounds like what Orochi would do in the Secret World, because they also have a very Doom-esque hell dimension. And Orochi is just corrupt enough to do that. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so that's the end of my actual thoughts.
Yeah. All right. Gamer, your actual thoughts.
I am.
You are actual thoughts?
Yes. They're going to say you're up, and that's why I immediately responded with I am. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
So first off, when you guys do these readings, do you write down the cast? Do you have like a separate section for the cast?
I do not.
Am I the only one that does this?
I think I tried it a couple times, but that was only when I had issues keeping track of who was who.
Okay, I always do it just to be safe, and I'm just bringing this up because I absolutely had Cheryl as a member of the cast.
Cheryl,
the gun.
Yeah, I was like, wait, who's that? Oh, right, the 357. Okay.
Yeah, she's named.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Lucille the Thompson. Like, I get
exactly.
it. It's like every detective / gangster names their weapon.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's like pirates and their ships. It's like detectives and gangsters and their guns.
But moving on.
Yeah.
You said this quote earlier, and I was going to chime in with this, but I didn't have a chance, and I forgot. Then, finding nothing, he rolled up his sleeves and waded into the scum on the other side of the city. I just really like the wording of that.
Yeah.
Like, overall, there's a lot of sections like that where it's really nice,
like
film noir wordiness like that.
Yeah, it really captures the noir mood.
Yeah. It's good shit.
Yeah.
And then this is like when he's getting drunk in his office and stuff like that. He says he came to the decision abruptly, standing up and slamming the bottle down onto his desk. Careful now, you're going to crack the screen. What are you doing?
What?
Onto the desktop. That's.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah. That's where all your icons are, like your trash bins there. And
fucking hate you and your
Google
puns
Chrome's there and everything.
Goddamn dad jokes. I hate it.
You say that, but I can hear your smile.
It's like that song. It's like that TikTok meme. No, I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Like that's really what it is. It's like I'm smiling, but I hate you.
Yeah. Thanks, I hate it.
Hate it. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, when he's like stalking up to the guy's house, making his way across the snowy terrain, Jack saw the residence. What?
Keep going.
Okay. Making his way across the snowy terrain, Jack saw the residence atop a low hill a couple hundred yards ahead, light glaring from every window. Arrest that man. He's wasting electricity. There's no way there's someone in every single room.
Okay, that's not where I thought you were going with that.
No.
Because
what?
I tripped up when I started reading and then like had to like stamp it down when I was reading. It's like making his way downtown. Like immediately, like as soon as like making his way downtown. Nope.
Not that. No.
Sorry. But yeah, arrest that man. He's wasting precious electricity. Damn these corporate fiends.
Yes. Truly, you know he's evil because he has every single light on his house.
Never mind that he's kidnapping and experimenting on children. He's wasting electrical energy and causing more pollution in the environment. The fiend.
Yes. Like I said before, we have.
Sorry.
We only have so much resources to make electricity and stuff. We can always make more children.
Ah, yes, children, the one true renewable resource.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god! Where is that creepypasta of like? Actually, I guess that's technically Baraska.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh god.
Yeah. Shit's fucked up. I apologize.
Man, that is fucked up, but like also like fun or like morbidly fun and funny.
Yeah. Would that be?
Oh man.
Would that be fung top?
What?
Fun top? Fung up? Trying to mix.
Oh yeah, it would be definitely. It's definitely fun top. It's definitely fun topped.
Yeah. Okay. But either way.
Sorry. I'll let this out. Like just a second ago, I was like lifting Lucy up, so that's why I was like laughing, but also like wheezing. I'm trying to lift my dog up, and laughing while you're doing that is not great.
No. But either way, my last one is in regards to the ending, where it's sad that the bad guy made Cheryl. Pronounced Cheryl, probably.
What?
Hang on.
Cheryl's the gun.
Cheryl, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the last part is at the ending, and my note is basically just, it's sad that the bad guy made Cheryl betray him. Like,
Yeah.
I know this isn't necessarily a modern story, but in real life, this is why the authorities need smart guns. And no, I don't mean the ones from Aliens.
No, you mean the one
make short work of all the monster children, but no.
But you mean like from Shadowrun? Sorry, Mikey.
I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but no. Like pistols that can only fire when held by someone who's registered to fire, which is basically half of the smart gun system in Shadowrun. So yeah, sorry, Mikey.
Yeah.
And as of a video I watched like 6 months ago, through like accelerometers, fingerprint ID, laser sensors, and face IDs, there's an interesting new one that's actually being developed for that exact purpose.
Oh, cool.
That, like, it could just be sitting in a cradle or whatever, like, or in a holster or something, and as soon as you pick it up, when your fingerprint touches the grip, or when you bring it up to like aim down the sights, there's a camera on the back that does Face ID on you. And if either of those two work, then the gun unlocks and you can shoot it.
Nice.
But like in this situation, he wouldn't be able to shoot it because he doesn't have the right fingerprint ID and he doesn't have the right face.
Yeah.
So ideally, honestly, I feel in the future, all law enforcement should use that type of gun, because then if they get in a fight with a criminal, they can't take their gun off of them and use it on or steal it or anything.
Mikey, I'm so sorry, but like now I'm just picturing Cheryl as a Ruger Super Warhawk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the badass revolver from Shadowrun.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Well, now we're gonna have to put this character in a.
I'm gonna have to make a scenario based off of this creepypasta, and put it in the 2070s.
Yep.
Or the 2080s. I do kind of want to run a creepypasta, like a future-y creepypasta campaign in Shadowrun, using just like deriving like kind of based off of our like headcanon-y like 2070s, 2080s, 2090s sort of setup.
Yeah.
I think that would just
what
be
started
really
all
cool.
that? Was that Antran?
It was Antran. Yeah. You guys. It was when you guys were reading Antran for the Patreon episodes. Which anybody out here who'd like to listen to Mikey and Gamer in Yellow read and discuss some of our older creepypastas like Antran and such, you can become a Patreon supporter and get all the get a whole swath of new episodes called Al Dente Reloaded and Al Dente Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
So
plug. Catch up on ones that we weren't privy to.
Yeah. Leading up to, I think, Ted the Caver, because you guys just like stopped at Ted the Caver.
Stopped at that point because it's a really long one and we couldn't like get schedules lined up, and then years went by and we didn't.
Yeah, there is still like a swath of like a good swath of extra episodes that you can listen to if you become a Patreon supporter.
Yeah.
I will stop this plug now.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's the end of my notes.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm diving into final thoughts. I'm still gonna recommend this one. It was very moody, very atmospheric. Gives me a taste of horror with a little bit of noir, while teasing to something bigger in the world. And for me, at least, that was a really good thing, and it was really fun to read. Would always like to know more, but as a freestyle short story for a competition with the subject "Detective Gets Fired from Job," this fucking clicked with me. So yeah, I recommend it. Mikey, D stands for evil.
All right. Well, I like the detective, although it does get a bit wordy because they let all the run-on sentences that are very detective-like.
Yeah.
That's
just a noir thing.
That's you criticizing noir in general, which is fair.
Yeah. But I think the main thing that is that I wanted more monster than what we got. Like, not to say that zombies aren't creepy and weird, it's just it's been so overdone that I just want a slight variation and I would be 100% recommending this, but the way it is, I'm still only partially recommending it.
Yeah, to kind of like jump onto that with you, Mikey. I do kind of like, as we were talking earlier, I do kind of like the idea. Like, what if they were like, again, demonically infused, children in some way? So they had some kind of weird aspect about them that made them even less human than what we even get. Like just this shambling humanoid. What if they do have like something that makes them more akin to like maybe that creature again from the soldier, if this is even in because this is in the same universe, in the same setting as the as a bunch of the other Wicker Saga stories. So this would be a good opportunity, even though this was like an entry for a competition. Just throw in a little bit extra from your setting. Like you don't have to like go into full blow explain it, but like if you know sort of thing. Like you might be able to catch on the children are exhibiting some kind of like bug like features because like the one character was like a Beelzebub, like was like an insect like dude, like demon. And then like the creature itself, like the monster in the cave itself was like a giant insect demon thing. So
yeah,
it could be that this corporate Marx character is using his pharmaceutical company and experimenting with like demon DNA. Welcome to Demonic Park. Sorry. I'll stop. But yeah.
Or we took demon DNA and spliced it with frog DNA.
No, spliced it with lizard DNA.
Yeah, lizards.
And then put it into children. Because it's cold out. But yes. Yeah. So still partially recommending it then? Or
Yep.
All right. Fair
enough. That's what I said.
Yeah, sorry. We went on that little tangent, so I forgot.
Where are we?
Who are you?
Who are you? Yeah.
But all right. Gamer, your final verdict and final thoughts.
Yeah, I kind of do agree with Mikey that the monsters in this, it's so vague as to what they are that they don't really have too much personality right now. Like, granted, if they don't show any physical deformities, like Mikey suggested, then we, aka Jack, wouldn't know. So we only know what he knows because we're technically seeing it through his eyes, although it's not first person, but still.
It's still through him because like he's the one that the narrator is focusing on.
Yeah,
like,
so we can only know what he knows, and he don't know shit.
Yeah. So we're having shit. Yeah, I ain't no shit. It's sort of like an out of context problem. Like this is or out of context horror because like you don't know all the details, and that's also what's scary about it. It's like what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's the Greg Sestero. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand.
From the room.
Yeah.
His big himbo energy.
Yeah.
I pay attention to anything.
Yeah, big Mark energy. That's big Mark horror energy. What's going on here? I don't understand. Why am I being eaten?
Yeah.
But I just don't get monsters. I just don't get monsters. Anyway, how's your scale life? Oh, hi, Mark.
Wow.
All right, I will stop. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I do like the story when I was reading through it. I like the atmosphere of it. It's like a well done detective story. Mm-hmm. He made some realistic assumptions along the way as to why Marx could be doing this, but then of course he gets confronted with the unrealistic assumptions that he never made.
Yeah.
Which was the end of him, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really too much along the way that truly bothered me. A few times through the story, I wrote down an issue to have like the next sentence like answer it for me.
Yeah,
that was kind of nice actually. That happened like 3 or 4 times where I had an entire note like written up, and then I read the next sentence. I'm like, oh, I just delete that note.
Yeah.
So it was well written, easy to read. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But as I said, I do agree with Mikey how the creatures are a little bland right now because we don't know what's going on. Like, is it an Umbrella zombie situation, or like, are they technically dead? Are they alive? We don't know.
Yeah.
But,
So, from the story's point of view, we're not supposed to know because
we're not
our
supposed to know.
our one window into this world is getting eaten by the end. So he doesn't get to investigate any further.
But I do agree with you, Cultus, how like another story would be nice, so we know kind of what's going on, at least the reasoning as to why like this company's doing this.
After all the shit I was getting for wanting more earlier.
I didn't give you shit.
You did give me shit.
You gave yourself shit. You called yourself a Disney princess.
It sounded to me like you were giving me shit earlier.
Nah.
You bastard.
Well, you convinced me. How about that?
All right, there. Okay, fine. I'll let you off the hook this time.
Through our discussion, I'm like, you know what? It is weird. And you know what? I would like to know a little bit more as to why he's doing this, because at this point, he might as well just have a top hat and a curly mustache, because, like, I'm evil because of reasons.
Yeah.
Because, like, he just straight up, like, took the parents out there to kill them?
Yeah.
For reasons?
Well, you know what the reasons obviously were, right?
No.
Get rid of the evidence. It's like,
but then
like if they
look into the missing parents. He already had it cleaned up with the parents getting rid of the detective. It was clean.
Except the parents still want to know what happened to their child. So like, I'll get rid of the parents. Oh, they went off somewhere like abroad, then they'll never be found again. Like that's something that happens in crime all the time. In real crime, that happens all the time. Like people like cover-ups and stuff. So
I guess.
Yeah. He was tying up loose ends, essentially, is what he was doing. In a evil corporate like mastermind sort of way.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah, overall I still did like the story, so I'll still recommend.
Okay. Also I got a thing is like reading, like when I was reading the story, it's like, and we were talking about like for gameable stuff, it's like this is basically just a Delta Green game or a Call of Cthulhu game where like where the players don't realize there's supernatural shit at all. And then through the investigation, they find the horrible truth. And basically at the end, they got TPK'd.
Yeah.
So, but that'll do for this week's episode. So 2 recommendations and a partial recommendation. And if you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. We're all on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. The Gamer in Yell is at the Gamer in Yell, but without that W at the end because the name is very long.
Yeah.
And I'm at Review Cultist. I'm also on Blue Sky at Review Cultist as well. So you can check us there. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Where you can also leave us suggestions for other spooky things, creepypastas, SCPs. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. As we said earlier in the show, our Patreon has extra episodes, early access, special content. To all of our patrons that are helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the void. And without your authorship, without the stories that you write and post online for people to read and enjoy and get inspired by, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the Gamer in Yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.